Welcome back to the channel. And as always, thank you for being here and striving with me to recognize and manifest the fact of the one humanity. Individualism is a stage in human development. It is the recognition of an arrival at self-consciousness. And by self-consciousness, what we mean essentially is that you have become a person who understands not only how your environment impacts you, but you know the impact that you can have on your environment as well. Now, for many of us, at least in the United States, certainly we have kind of gotten stuck in this stage of individualism, which simply means that we have arrived at, or we have many people who have arrived at a sense of self-consciousness where they understand their impact on the environment as well as the environment's impact on them. And they have become thinkers to some extent, capable of impacting others. The problem is, since individualism and self-consciousness is merely one of the stages in human development, to have an attachment to this stage to the extent where we now call it the cult of individualism, and to be so enraptured with our own individual self-consciousness really means that we are limiting ourselves from further maturation within the human experience. And as I've indicated in other videos, the next stage for human development as a collective is the recognition of group consciousness. Group consciousness eventually is superseded by a universal consciousness. And so for people who fail to move beyond self-consciousness, who are very attached to their own individual identity, they are essentially missing out on further development. And this is a right stage for some, because as world servers, we must know that true servers have all traversed this path, and you are not equipped to help others until you have learned how you impact your environment and are impacted by your environment. We become world servers by passing through a stage of self-consciousness, leading to group consciousness, and eventually universal consciousness. There's nothing inherently wrong with individualism. It is an important stage in the development of each of us. However, what becomes wrong is our attachment to it, an inability to see that it is just simply a stepping stone to other possibilities for which we are continuously evolving to inhabit and develop. True world servers understand this on some level, even if they may not be completely conscious of it. But as world servers, we understand and are being driven to and pulled towards a higher sense of consciousness, which we call group consciousness. The group consciousness absorbs the individual consciousness. It does not mean that we are no longer individuals. It means now that we can use the gifts, the talents, the resources that we have as individuals on behalf of a group good. The higher group consciousness is what is now needed to solve the problems that we have individually and collectively created based on a stringent, individualized consciousness. To be self-conscious is a right step for many people, but those who are stuck there are similar to someone who turns 13 and refuses, in spite of time passing, in spite of growing older, to mature beyond the age of 13. For those who are struggling with their individualized self-consciousness and wondering what will happen to me if I lean into the collective consciousness, lean into the group consciousness, you simply become a part in a greater whole. You simply become someone who can be relied upon to use all that is in your possession, all that you have garnered over many lifetimes to develop yourself, but now using it for a higher purpose, a higher group good. That is what world servers, either subconsciously or consciously, recognize. The new group of world servers increasingly will think and act in terms of the whole. They recognize themselves as a part of something greater. They work on behalf of the common good. They understand and use their resources and their intelligence to create pragmatic solutions to the world's problems. They strive to understand the unfolding evolutionary plan that is working out for humanity and the planet. And they want to be part of the solutions that are now needed to create a better world. From self-consciousness to group consciousness, and eventually universal consciousness, the human being evolves. Through each level of consciousness, the human being begins to understand to a greater extent the nature of the world in which we live. All that is already exists. It is up to us simply to become aware of it. We move and live from the individual to the whole, from multiplicity to unity. The new group of world servers is anchoring the new ideas and ideals to move humanity forward into a greater and far more expansive future. Namaste.